I will say in defense of the solopreneur, the thing that's also nice about that is that you're caring for yourself. I completely understand why people want to build a whole business that can scale and have a bunch of employees and maybe eventually get acquired. That is one obviously successful model that can work for folks. But being a party of one, or maybe you and like a virtual assistant or something, which again, figure out when you're structuring your company, if you hire people, what's that going to look like? If you set up SEP IRAs and then you hire people full time and then you need to provide them with one and have a match, just like know what you're doing along the way. But being a party of one can make some of the headache a little better because you are just figuring it out what that means for you, as opposed to how does this one decision I make ripple out and impact absolutely everybody in this company? And that is not me giving advice to hold yourself back or not to scale, but that sometimes if you're just building a lifestyle that you want and the work that you're doing is funding that lifestyle, it's also okay to stay where you are. I think sometimes, again, we get this messaging where it's like, well, you're not doing it right if you aren't scaling and growing and making this huge business. Again, different headaches, right? New level, new devil, to keep using cliches. Like it is something you have to think about is what type of work-life balance do you want within entrepreneurship? Because you are never off. Like vacations, true vacations don't really exist because you can't totally have an out of office depending on how you structure your company.
Yeah.
You might be able to grow to a point where, yeah, you can because there's enough people behind you who can like really hold it all down. That takes a really long time to get to that level. So just kind of thinking about what is the lifestyle that you want within your job and outside of your job. And I don't think there's any shame in being a party of one or even just a very small, tight-knit company that isn't interested in huge amount of scale and growth. And the last plug I will also make on this, we were just venting a little bit about all the different structures. If you find that it's too much, that this is just sucking the joy out of the other parts, there is no shame in going back to traditional employment. I think sometimes people are like, you failed as an entrepreneur.
I've said that many times on the show that I've done that.
Yeah, but like, who cares? Like, go do what is right for you. Or like, hey, maybe it's just because you're reaching a phase in life where, oh, wow, all right, let's use people having kids as an example. I'm a millennial. It's happening left, right, and center. Let's say that you're realizing, oh, wow, I'm a woman. I'm self-employed. I would fund my own maternity leave. That sounds really expensive. Well, how about if I just go back into the traditional workforce for a year or two and they can fund my maternity leave and give me better healthcare than maybe I could have afforded myself being self-employed, start this new phase of my life with a little bit of more structure, a little bit better benefits. And then maybe eventually I return to my entrepreneurship life. There's absolutely no shame in that.